I know you just put up to the bar, but we close.
Come on, man. You gotta be able to give me a shot, man. Come on.
You look like you need a drink, man, but I hate to tell you this, man. We about to close.
So you mean to tell me all these people out here, they got drinks and they got shots, but I can't get nothing. The bar closed that soon?
Okay, man. I don't know what else to say. I got this shorty half my age at the crib, and I'm trying to get to it. But last call was 10 minutes ago.
You know what? It's alright. Don't even worry about it.
All right. Tell you what. I'm gonna get you one drink, cause it look like you need
one drink. I can do one drink. I can do one drink, cause I really yeah.
Hey man, anything, man. Look like you got a lot on your mind and you need a friend right now. Pour it on me. Ain't no last calls here.
Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome to Bar Talk with Jay.
Welcome.
Let me tell you, this show right here is totally special. All right, let me tell you why.
Yes.
9-year anniversary.
Woo!
Now, with that alone, I gotta tell you that's been through a lot. This has last longer than half my relationship.
Right?
And at least I can say my marriage lasts longer, but most of my relationships did not last this long.
Right.
And one of the reasons why is I didn't have the fortitude to understand all where I was going. So, again, it started one direction and it started in many others, but this one right here has been a solid one.
Yeah.
And I enjoy doing this walk with this brother.
Yes.
And this is a happy moment for me, 9 years, because a lot of people never even seen me during this period. What degree you got? What makes you want to do it? Some of it was based off of some of the failures, but it's also for the Heavenly Father to realize that mistakes being made, but you can grow from them.
Yes.
And that's what this show came from. And then when I started this and I talked to him, and he came with solutions behind the failures, the activating of the mind of the book that he wrote only enhanced what I started. It's like you got a motion, and then I got another driving motion behind it. And then all of a sudden things start moving in harmony.
Where there are two or more together,
What?
the Lord is there.
And that's why this show is so important to me.
Yes. Jay's vision at the outset, Jay said, I want to do a radio show. And I had never done a radio show. He said, why don't you come and spend some time at the one that I'm doing now? And, we'll talk. Just, and it was my first day meeting him.
Yep.
About 4 hours later, I ended up on the AM radio station, Love AM.
Mm-hmm.
1180 AM.
What was that? Love, 160 AM?
160 AM.
Love.
So I went on the show and
Love 180.
Love 180. Yeah. It was one of the most intriguing nights I've ever had because I was on the radio that night.
Mm-hmm.
And I had something to say. I had a lot to say. I didn't say much, but I had a lot to say. And I got excited about the idea of doing a radio show. And so when Jay brought it to my attention that he was, I won't say unhappy, but he had maybe, been through some challenges and was ready to move on to some new projects.
Right.
I was excited, elated. And I remember showing up here one night, probably on a Tuesday or Thursday night. And Jay is always one of those people, he's got equipment up, you can't even see behind the camera, but there's a ton of equipment, which is basically making this the studio.
Right.
And we sat here just chopping it up. And I didn't realize that he was taping our chop it up session, but he was.
Mm-hmm.
He taped every session that we had since we were in this studio.
Mm-hmm.
And I come to realize that I might have some potential at doing a podcast, right? And we were doing podcasts before people really got into it. It was early in
9 years ago.
Yeah.
It was way before everybody else jumped in.
So this has been one of the most rewarding experiences of my life. Being committed to helping people and serving people and talking about things and talking through things with the community at large in mind. We're not just having conversations on our own. We're talking about real stuff, real life that everybody can relate to, that maybe somebody's dealing with. And we have continued with every fiber of our being to offer inspiration.
Mhm.
Over and over and over, every show is about being inspired. Now, we done had some fun ones and some crazy ones,
Oh, yes.
but even in the craziness of life, there are lessons to be learned. And, just talking through it, I want to say we got 400 some odd shows.
Way past. Yeah, 900 years. I mean,
Nine-
9 years and 480, almost 500.
Almost 500
500
shows that we have produced right here on this set. I've often said that I think we have more video footage of us performing than probably the average movie star.
It feels like it.
It feels like it.
Yes,
You
it
know,
feels like
hundreds
it.
and hundreds of hours
Big
of
people,
production.
Yeah.
And you got to think what I'm so grateful for on this day as we celebrate our anniversary was all the effort that was put in. I mean, we were here every single week up until probably the last year, maybe even the last 7 or 8 months. We were here every single week for this 9-year period. And probably the first 5 plus years, we were doing 2-hour shows,
2-hour live show.
2-hour live shows.
That's how
Right.
dedicated we were. 2-hour live.
I mean, we would get in front of the camera and we would just pour our heart out.
Go.
We would talk about our issues. And
Unedited.
I know for me, it
No
was
pre-recording.
creating a lot of vulnerability,
Yes, it was.
sharing my stories and my testimonies and my issues and concerns.
I think how many times we cried.
Oh,
How many
yeah.
times we took moments where we had to take a minute, because we was not about a show of fake.
Yeah.
It was not about, oh, cut that, break. It was about, no, show the true you for people to understand us, for they understand what we go through, because
Right.
we're human.
Right.
Not
Right.
perfect.
Right.
This is not an act.
Right.
This is not a movie that you see a perfect scene. There's nothing perfect in the world, so I can't give you a perfect scene, but I can give you me.
Right.
And Kraft gave him, and then everybody that became a part of us, and they gave themselves.
Yes.
Some gave a little bit of an actor because they like the cameras, the scene.
Yeah, the lights and
They
cameras can
open
be a
up.
little,
Yeah,
a little
it
too
is.
much for a lot of people.
But-
We saw a lot of people,
But we
talk a
think
lot of noise,
Yeah.
get in front of that camera, get
But-
shot.
when they left, they said they enjoyed it.
They said they enjoyed it. Yeah, we've had countless numbers of people here in the show, people who write books. We've had bartenders
Oh
and
my God.
people who serve drinks and drink specials, and we've had Jay's mom on the show.
What?
We've had many of our friends and our co-workers, and and we want to just take this time to just thank everyone.
Everybody.
We want to thank you from the bottom of our heart for participating in this show.
Yes.
Again, this is as we look back, we just feel like we've done such great work, not for ourselves, but for the world at large. I mean, these shows potentially could be watched for dozens and maybe hundreds of years from now. They speak to real wisdom. They speak to real life. And I just couldn't be more proud of what we have done here. I think the major benefit for me is that it kept me focused. When you have to come to the studio every single week for 8+ years and deliver a message that you think is meaningful to the world, it keeps you laser focused.
Yes.
And I've never participated in such a project, but it has done tremendous things, I think, on my skill level. Being able to lead the show and to bring up the topics and to talk about it in a professional and loving way, even though some of the topics were, had some mischief in it, and some of the topics, were about anger and it was about frustration. I mean,
about cheating and everything else.
yeah, about cheating, yeah, getting done wrong, and how we treat people, and my heart is just so full right now. I cannot tell you. Thank you to all the people who have watched the show and supported the show over the years. As much as we have been here in the studio, we've had many of followers to be on the other side of this camera, watching us, supporting us,
Yes.
making comments. I mean, everything from sending donations to and just being in our DM and thanking us for what we're doing
And showing up.
showing up
Man, they showed up for us.
showing up, man, over and over and over.
And you got nothing but love for them.
Yeah.
If I had to name some,
Let's do that.
and again, in naming them, please, if I do not mention you, everybody that's ever been a part of my show, gratitude.
Gratitude.
It just gonna be people on this. I guarantee you, 9 years, I've been with the best, and it's not about nothing of less.
Yes.
And I almost didn't want to name nobody because I felt like, something is gonna be unfair because I'm gonna miss somebody.
We're gonna miss somebody, but
I gotta do something for the ones that held us down. Walt is one of the guys that helped produce me when I first started.
listen,
first.
Walt created the intro.
Yes. We sat down and I said I wanted the cheers, right? But I don't want to pay cheers for it. And he said, well, you got to create your own. So me and him, if you go back and listen, it sat at a bar in front of a mic and we came up with it. And when we sat there, it took us a minute. And he was like, well, what do you kind of want to say? And I said, well, I wanted something at a bar. And he said, okay, I'm going to come sit in. And why I need to go sit with you? And I was like, what do you mean? Why go sit with me? I want you to come sit with me because, again, I want to see what's going on. But again, man, you coming at the end of closing, man. I got to go. And you're like, well, man, I can't get one more drink. That's about half my age. I'm ready to go home to. Letting them know you ain't important to me.
Right.
And all right, well, whatever. And then I go ahead and spill it.
Yeah.
Tell me what it. And that's how life is. And I'm going to tell you, I love that intro because I get people now that show you a lack of respect, a lack of care
Or interest, yeah.
until you stand firm on, man, I just want, and then they break down and realize, you are a person too, and I might need to listen. And that's what made me like that intro better than Cheers and Norm and everybody coming together because we don't always come together.
We don't always come together.
And we don't always listen. And he broke that with me, and I loved it, and I love that intro ever since.
Let me just share, if I hadn't already, the vision, Jay's initial vision for this show. He said, man, people go to the bar. Oftentimes, they go any place, but you go to the bar, and when you're at the bar, there's usually somebody there to talk to. It might be the guy to your left or right. It could be the bartender. But by the time you get a few sips of your first drink, you get about halfway through your first drink, you loosen up. And once you loosen up, you really start talking about what is bothering you. And we know that's a problem in the world. People keep all of this stuff bottled up and they don't have a way to express it. And so they don't have a way to understand it. They don't have a way to talk about it. Right. So Jay wanted to create a format where let's just get the problem out. Let's get it on the table. And then he began to recognize some of my comments and some of my gifts. And he said, Kraft, we're going to bring the problem to the table, but maybe you can help us try to talk about some solutions.
Yeah.
And so the entire 9 years, we've been bringing up a problem and try to offer some insight, some advice, some help, some loving support, some words of encouragement to get you through these situations. And I believe we've covered these situations so well. I truly believe the Lord is proud of the work that we have put in. It's been earnest, it's been righteous, we've been fully dedicated, we've been intentional about keeping it clean and positive and healthy and trying to really help people. And I just don't believe that there's any other thing that I have been in that has been so driven by the heart of man. The heart of man to do good and to be healthy and to do more. And I'm just so proud of our work, man.
You have been consistent since I started this. But to anybody that watched my growth and people have came and told me I seen change in you, then you can understand Saul or Paul.
Yeah.
Understand everybody's not going to always start one way and stay that way when you're dealing with the Lord.
Right.
When you start dealing with issues and problems, you start off thinking you know it all, and then you realize you got to be humble, and then you have to give it up.
Yeah.
Now, with that, to me, that goes back to the story of Saul and Paul. You can start off as a rebel and feel like I know what I'm doing, and I'm this and I'm that, to realize, no, I got to be more humble and realize I made a lot of mistakes. And that's why I started this, because it's like somebody asked me, it's like, what makes you have the right to be able to talk about relationships? And I said, because I talk off of my failures.
And I've been in plenty of them.
And I'm not scared to tell you about them.
Yeah.
For I can really encourage people to do better, because I wasn't always encouraged, but I learned from my failures, and that's where I speak from.
I think that has been a stronghold in this talk show, because one of the things I've seen Jay do, something I don't believe I've ever seen anybody do on a consistent basis, is self-conviction. Like, to say that it was my fault. I made the mistake. I'm the one who was lost. She was trying. They were doing what they were supposed to do. But it was me. I haven't seen anybody take that level of self-accountability. And we saw it over and over in this show. And it pleased me so much for it to come out, because we've all made mistakes. You know, people ask, what gives you the right to do a talk show? Well, I've been in a few relationships, and you might not learn from the lessons that I've learned, but you might learn if I tell you I screwed up.
Yep.
You might wake up to the fact that you might be screwing up, and there's some things that you could do better. And we continue to operate in that spirit throughout this show. It was, I think, the stronghold of this show.
And the craziest thing is, I never thought I would want to tell somebody my failure.
I never thought listen, I cringed so many times on some of the stories that I told, because I don't want to be mistaken.
From that negative standpoint.
Yeah, I don't want somebody to hear the small version that I have to use on the show and then make a judgment about me as a person at home.
Right. Oh.
I always wanted to be careful with how I delivered the message, and I always wanted to protect even the people that did me wrong, or I disliked, or I felt like we didn't agree. I didn't want to come down on them. I didn't want to talk bad about them. I just wanted to tell my little self, my little feelings, and I there's a lot of vulnerability in that show. You know, we had a lot of fun, and I said some curse words, and I talked about some dirty things a few times, you know, in a nice way, so to speak.
You've always been a positive brother. But remember, even in mine, I brought my ex-wife.
Yeah.
She been on the show. One that we went through things. At one time, we wanted to make some furniture move. And I brought her on the show because of growth.
Yeah.
All right. I had to forgive her. But before I forgave her, I had to forgive myself for the wrongs that I did. And that's what made me grow in the show. Because my wrongs had nothing to do with her. It was me. And accountability is everything. So when I apologize, it's apologize within. So she was able to come on here because she understood where I came from, and she understood what I was trying to do. Yeah. And she brought friends, and we brought other people since then. And the show has gravitated. She still watches, still hears. I can't always say she's always a part, because she has her own life.
She believes in us.
And she do. And my mom and others. And my whole family does. But again, they don't always listen because they don't need to, because they're very opinionated. And my whole thing is, I love their opinions, but again, it can be one. The Harder Brooks.
We got to show them.
Yeah, the Harder Brooks can be, but they understand this is mine.
And let me tell you, Jay, the Hagerbrook family has been here since the beginning. Yeah. When I tell you, Jay's mom have sat in many a show. She might not come up here, but she'll sit down over there on the couch and she'll listen. And sometimes one person in the studio who's listening, and you're talking about something, and they'll give you a nod. It makes you feel like you're not just talking nonsense, like you're really delivering a message that's being received by the people. So I want to thank his mom. I want to thank his sister. Yes. I want to thank his brothers for coming out. They came out all throughout the show. Yeah. I want to thank his niece and her kids. Yes. And just his family have been so supportive. Not to mention, they took me underneath their wing from day one.
Remember my daughters, Lord have mercy.
His daughter, right?
The shows they get. And sons, but the daughters.
Because of the love I have received just from being a part of this show, I was invited to Thanksgiving. I was invited to Christmas. We celebrated birthdays. Sometimes we just came to the studio and partied on a Saturday night with nothing to do, but just be together. So it's been a rich experience.
What about today? When you came? Yeah. It was about an hour before we started.
Yeah, chopping it up.
Because y'all don't understand. The show is the show, but a lot of people, and I feel like fail in life because y'all look at money and opportunity when we look at love and companionship. When we get together, it's been time away from each other. I want to know how he been. What's been going on with his life? Because again, to me, it ain't just a show. This is family.
Right.
And whatever goes on with him, I want to know.
Right.
Because he family. You know, is it something I need to do? And because that's how family are. So then when you come, and he came, he's the most faithfulest one of all people that's been in my show. He's been with me from the beginning to the end. 9 years, always been there. There's others that's still there supporting, but I promise you, he's been there. Why? We always care for one another. His mother, his father, when his father passed, is no longer here. We always gonna share some things. Hurtful things, but we always gonna cry together and be together. That's family.
That's
He's
family.
not my brother, but he's not my biological. He is my brother. So they be like, "How's Jay your brother?" And he 1 year. Well, listen, I ain't come from his mom.
Sometimes a friend is closer than a brother.
But I'm his
Right.
brother, and I'm a brother that loves
Yeah.
this man, and that's why this show is so impactful. And wow, I really love it. And I said, man, we're gonna give some acknowledgement to some people, but the one person I gotta say first is you, because you were there, you started with me, you are still with me, and when you have that guy that ride with you, that's that person that you always want to make sure you acknowledge, because it's not just for him, it's for me. Because I don't never want to leave this earth without him knowing how much I care and appreciate
Yes.
the person that's next to me. And a lot of people feel like, man, you this, you that. No, I'm not you. I'm that dude that I go off script to understand I'm guided by a heavenly light, to know that just like I honor my father, I honor the brothers that's with me.
Thank you, Jay. Thank you so
And
much.
when you do that, you show true appreciation. It's not just about the show. I don't care if the show make money or not. I appreciate the person that's willing to ride with you, because you got to realize what's important to you.
Yeah.
And when you do that, then you see how important the show is, because he wrote a book, not because of me, because he's seen something in him. It just corresponds with what we do.
There you go.
That's how important we are. And I promise you, I love it.
And let's just give some special thank yous to our co-host,
Okay.
who was on the show numerous times, Mr. Jeffrey.
Oh my goodness. Now Jeffrey still speaks to this very day.
Jeffrey got down.
Man, Jeffrey
Woo.
said one day, if it don't
Woo.
fit you, you know, hey, this you might want to wear it, you might not.
Yeah.
All I can tell you,
Yeah.
he started this early on. Still talking to his brother. He's still doing positive things.
Yeah.
I don't think
Still
he's
an
still
achiever.
out there doing all what he's doing, because again, he's doing a lot of different things. I think it's in Kentucky last.
Right.
Gotta reach back out to him shortly, because again, I always want to stay in touch with strong people that was with me, and he is
Yeah.
one of them.
There you go. You remember AP?
Now AP was just so strong. I have not reached out to her recently. I need to.
Yeah.
AP was just like the thug female. AP needed to hear
I don't know if
this
she
because
would
was the
appreciate that.
thug. No, she know it,
She
because
was,
she didn't mind being
she
a
didn't
woman.
mind.
She's a woman at heart, and I like to say loving and compassionate, and I like the business aspect of it.
Yeah.
But when I tell you she wasn't soft spoken,
Not at all.
that woman gave you the business,
Right.
and I loved it because I needed that.
Right.
And
Right.
when I say needed for the show's sake, but again, I have to show a different side. And me and Kraft was the man side, and we spoke from a man's point of view, and
Yeah.
she spoke from a woman's point of view. But half the time, she's
was
a
a
dude,
dude's
man.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the things that we missed, and we tried to reach for many a times, with a woman's perspective.
Right.
It's just Jay and I sitting here chopping it up on these subjects, and oftentimes we miss that woman's input. And so when we had women on the show, and we've had many, we were grateful.
Why you make it sound like we had a
No, we were grateful. There were women coming through here all the time.
They was.
One of the other people who was very instrumental to our growth and our development, who has supported us for years, our co-producer Booby.
Yes.
Booby was
Booby did
always in the behind the camera. He had a lot of input. He helped pick the shows, And ultimately, what he did was he taped the shows, and then he edited the shows, and he put the shows in the marketplace for us. And so he was a stronghold there to be able to manage, our shows and keep them labeled, and
It's still that powerful force today.
and still that powerful
Still
force
talk
today,
to us, still
grinding.
deal with
Yeah.
it. Hey man,
Yeah.
he's still one of our brothers.
So he's got accolades from our show.
Oh damn.
And so how about Adrian?
Oh my goodness. Yes.
Adrian, Phil,
Now
Latifi.
was like the different dude.
I
That was our
always
brother.
attracted different people on this show.
Yeah. Phil was.
He was
argumentative. Yeah, very argumentative. I kind of liked him because he took things off me. They looked at me and they're like, "Well, dang, Jake, why you got to be the more of the hoe of the show?" And it wasn't all.
We played roles.
We did, and again, Phil played a stronger one, and I appreciate him coming because he said he's a 3-minute brother. It's like, really, you would say that? And people mad. She was really mad.
You have to go back.
So
and watch the 3 minute show.
that one was so crazy, but he did so much. And again, if y'all don't know him by Phil, Buddha would be his next name on the show, and he did it.
But here's a brother who came through every chance he got.
Yeah, he did.
I mean, he was here for dozens of shows.
Yeah.
Edith.
Oh my God!
Miss
She
Edith
supported her daughter.
Support us. Yeah, her daughter.
They all came.
First Lady.
Now, First Lady was on our show for a good little minute.
Good little minute, yeah.
Yeah, we gotta appreciate her as well.
Queen. Remember the Jamaican lady?
Oh my goodness! Yes, she was with us for like about 600 months,
Yeah.
if not a year or so.
Yeah.
Again,
And she fixed meals.
yes.
You know what I mean?
Now that's what
All
you know
kinds
how
of
much
stuff.
love there was. Miss Edith would too.
Yeah.
She'll bring food. She'll bring people.
Yeah.
Queen did. I mean, like I said, I love everybody that ever came because they brought a different part, and we love every part that they
Yeah,
brought.
and here's one who was really a backbone for us. We can never forget about Barbara.
Now Barbara is still doing things down in Macon.
So
Barbara, her mama, and family been doing things in Macon that I always gotta say hats off. Listen, that woman drove from Macon, Georgia, 2 hours to do our show. She didn't even
numerous times.
When I met Barbara, she didn't even drive like that.
And let me tell you, we almost had I would call her our executive assistant, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because for the first several years we did shows and we celebrated these anniversaries. Barbara would get awards made.
Yes.
She would bring in food for us. She would help us create we used to have a segment in the show where we did like a poem or we did a little writing, and she would produce that every week. And she would type out our programming and send it to us. All we had to do was print out the program and do the show.
Yep.
And she was just such a marvelous support. I pray nothing but God's blessing on all of these people. As we close, you can hear that our heart is so full from the work that we have done. We trust that it is good, wholesome work. We pray that you would get a hold of it, that you would watch it, that you would listen, that you would be strengthened and encouraged by it. We're proud, and ultimately, we hope and believe that we have made the Lord proud of what we have done.
Now mention the Lord. Pastor Anthony.
Pastor Anthony came
The Eve effect. Yes.
The Eve effect, yeah. So we made an impact. We are not done, but we wanted to thank you for supporting us. We wanted to thank you for being here with us. Again, our hearts are full because Bar Talk with Jay shall live in infamy. It shall be around for many years to come. And, when we start dicing these shows up and using them in promos, which we've done a lot of, but there's a lot of work to be done to get the show into the marketplace. We have been great producers of a show. We probably have not been the greatest marketers to get the show out. So there's still a ton of work to do to bring these messages to light. But we want to thank you and never, ever forget that the reason we do Bar Talk with Jay is because we love you and we appreciate you. And with that, We are out.
Ain't no last calls here.
Bar talk.